If God gives you something to do, just do it. And in doing it, don't quit. Remember, if you're going through hell, keep going. You have a destiny. You have a purpose. And God is waiting on you to get there. Let's talk about it. Good day. Welcome all to this inspiring episode of Samantha with Let's Talk. In this episode, we meet with Toquel Major. We sit down with her. She's a woman whose journey reflects strength, faith, and resilience. We will get to know her as a mother, get to know her as a business owner, a friend, and most importantly, a child of God. So at this time, please let us welcome Toquel Major. Hi, Toquel.
Hi. Thank you for that nice intro.
Of course.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about sharing with us today?
To be truthful, I'm quite fine. I would not have been able to do this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But God has placed me right now. So it's better.
Yes.
It's better now than any other time.
Absolutely. They say a time to do something is 20 years ago.
Right.
And then the next opportune time is right now.
Yes.
So you're perfect with that.
You're absolutely right.
So let's get right into it. Let's talk about you. Let's get to know you, your story a little bit, So share a little about yourself. Tell us about your childhood, your teenage years, times when you would have went to college, things of that nature.
Okay. I was born here in Freeport. I was raised in a single parent home. My father raised me up until his demise when I was at age 13. It was the only parent I really knew. My family raised me thereafter, and I ended up moving to Nassau, grade 11, simply because I wanted to get to know my mom and have that experience because I lived with my father all of my life. And so it was pertinent at that time that I made that transition. The experience was quite different, but I remained who I was, meaning my involvement. From primary school straight to high school, I was always highly involved in extracurricular activities, and keeping a good GPA was always important to me. So that's who I still am today. And so thereafter, I went to the first college I went to was St. Cloud State University. I didn't like it too much because of the cold.
I can even. Where's that? Where is it?
In Minnesota.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
I know it's cold.
But I'll go back now. Yeah, I can appreciate it now.
Yeah.
And then I went on to FAMU for a very short time.
Oh, FAMU. Nice.
Yes. Studying architecture at the time. I was still an undecided major. One of my visits home, I decided I want to stay and go to COB. I don't know. I think I just, at the time, how I was thinking, and I definitely don't think now, but I wish I could go back. However, when I came home, I began COB. I had my first child. During that time, I always was a family person. Despite me being raised by my father, I still had my family surrounding me, the family on both sides. But I was really raised with my father's side of the family. And so I've seen, I have my grandparents had 14 children. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, and so I was raised in that type of environment where most of my uncles were married and they had families. So that was something that always stuck with me. And that was something I always wanted my daddy to do before he died. I wanted him to settle down and find someone, not to say he was, but I just wanted that. So from a little family girl, I always wanted that.
That family environment.
Yes. So when I had my first child, I was like, okay, I didn't come this far. I have to make it work. I have to have a family. And I didn't care what it took. I got married. Nobody even knew when I got married. Only his friends and his family. My family didn't even know.
Oh wow.
So that was one of the first things I could look back and be like,
but we're going to get to that. But before we do, I want to talk about someone really special to you who you would have lost. You had mentioned him just a minute ago, but I just want to go back to him because I know he was a really strong, pivotal person in your life.
I didn't think I was going to tear you up right now, but anyhow, yes, my father, Lambert Cornelius Major, raised me until the day of his death. because of my father's death, that really shaped who I am today.
Yeah.
And I said that because even when he was alive, I wanted to do everything to make him proud.
Yeah.
I always wanted to bring him good grades. I would tell my daddy, hey, you have to sign this. And he didn't even know what he's signing. Hey, you have to pay for this, because I'm putting myself, I was always involved. And I knew I made him proud doing that.
Yes.
And so
yeah.
I always tell people at that age, at that tender age, just reaching high school, you could let that situation make or break you.
Yeah.
Because that was the time I could have just lose it all.
Yeah.
The only parent I know. But what I did was because I already began wanting to make him proud, I definitely want to make him proud, even through his death. So that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
And what carried me. Even though I would have made many mistakes, I still, at the end of the day, wanted to make my father proud, or fix the mistakes I would make.
Absolutely. And that makes sense because, we want to make our parents proud.
Yeah.
And if you have a parent that was a good role model in your life, that even adds to it even more, you definitely would want to do that.
Yes.
But tell me, when you would have lost him, how that affected you, how that caused you to make certain decisions that, change the trajectory of your life.
Right. Like I was beginning to say, where things can make you or break you. I think too, because of my upbringing with my fear in God, that I kept always being intentional about the choices I made.
Yes.
Whether it was with friends, like everybody knew me. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was this big puppet, but everybody knew me. And so I always felt like I had a role to play. And I always wanted it to be positive.
Yeah.
I never tried to keep up with company. Even if they were bad company for other people, I would make a situation, where I could fit in and so forth. So through his death, like I said, I always kept that in the front, that I don't want to disappoint my father.
Yes.
And that's what it is, even to this day.
Yes. Yes. So he did left an indelible mark.
Yeah, and it wasn't where he forced it on me. My dad was a very humble, quiet man.
Wow.
But because I knew he sacrificed just for me.
Yes.
And I saw that.
That love.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, you would have had this experience where you would have lost your dad, and, a whole bunch of things happened in the process, but we're going to fast forward to when you decided to get married. Right? So tell us a little bit about your marriage, and I also want to just jump to the fact that it took a turn.
Yes.
So tell us a little about your marriage, and then tell us about when it took a turn.
Okay. My marriage took a turn before I got married. To be honest with you, I can boldly say now that I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I think I was more so because I had a child.
Yeah.
Or because even before I brought the child, I wanted a family.
Yeah.
And he had a daughter that I grew to love as mine. So in my mind, I already had a family, and it didn't matter if he was around or not.
Yeah.
And so when I had my child, I definitely, that was the goal for me.
Yes.
So I did everything it took.
Yes.
Getting a home, I worked 2 and 3 jobs. I did everything to keep my family together. And when it turned for me, I would have had my second son. Totally not planned, but I'm thankful because he's such a blessing to me, to us. But it took a turn right after. Matter of fact, just before he was conceived, and then, you have this blind mass that, okay, everything will be all right, and then everything is not.
Yeah.
And so at 3 months old, I filed for divorce.
Yeah.
And that was one of the hardest things I've had to do, because I went through an entire pregnancy alone, abandoned, and I went through a lot with that pregnancy. That's why he's so special, because I really thought something was going to be wrong with him, but it turned when I realized that what I really was fighting for was not worth it.
Yeah.
It was not worth my sanity. It was not worth seeing my oldest son, watching him leave and don't come back sometimes.
Yeah.
And it was just too much.
Yeah. That I'm sure that's a relatable story
to many.
To many. A lot of people are suffering in silence.
Yes.
For the most part, so I know it's relatable. Yeah. But there was a time in that space you stayed.
Yes. Because I believe in God and family.
Yeah, that's my next question.
Yes, and I believe in people so much that okay, if they could get it together, he could get it together.
Yeah.
He will get it together.
Yeah.
More than I believe that it just wasn't supposed to be. You know, and it was me wanting my kids to have a father in their life, but he wasn't there.
Yes.
So I had to come to a realization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you mentioned that you stayed because you wanted that family environment.
Yes.
That was your reason.
That was my reason.
And in staying, do you believe based on your experience, why do you believe you wanted that family in space and structure so much? Like you touched on it earlier, but I want to go a little deeper.
Because that's all what I wanted.
Yeah.
As a child growing up.
Yeah.
Mind you, my uncle and aunt raised me right after my father, actually just before my father's death. I don't know if it was God's intervention, but literally placed me in my father placed me in my aunt and my uncle's home so I could have more structure, because he was a working man. I'm in the home, and you know, they have their kids.
Yes.
And it was more, you know, you sit at the dinner table, you pray together, whatever. He would come by, he would take me to school. It was everything. It's just that I would not be alone when he's at work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that also strengthened my reasoning for needing to have a family of my own, because I watched it.
Yes.
You know, I grew up in it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then you mentioned when we were talking about your story, you know, a part of you wanting to leave that space was because of, you mentioned you had a 3-month-old at the time. And so the part of it really was for your children.
Yes, it definitely was only for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to put myself aside.
Yeah.
And what I had in my head this entire time, it just wasn't making sense. But to see, and the effects of it was great.
Yes.
Because I went through a lot with my oldest son now. He has a story to tell. He has went through it. And I didn't think at the time that he would feel anything.
Yeah.
But I took all of that. I had to go through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times we think our children, they're not taking it in taking it on.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is they are. And then it shows up when they become...
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. When they become adults or teenagers, they start to show up. It shows up. So
it kind of backfired, because it was like, I started to believe he think I was the problem. I was the reason why, when I was trying to protect him.
Yeah.
And so it was a fight. It was always a fight for me.
But I want to say that, you know, I am super proud of you.
Thank you.
For being strong in that season.
Yeah.
And taking those moments and looking at your children and saying, I have to do it for them.
Yes.
You know, sometimes some people, they don't use any reason, and they just allow it to destroy them.
Right.
But I'm happy that you were able to just take what you knew you had to take, your children, and put them in the forefront, and then do it for them. So I'm proud of you.
I couldn't understand why I was going through that, because I was not raised, and like, why me? Why have to be going through this? And I know what it is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't understand it for a long time.
Yes.
I was like, I had the best daddy ever.
Yeah.
Now my kids don't have it.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. I know if he was alive today, I say that every day, if my daddy was alive today.
Yes.
My God.
Yeah. He sounded like he was a great dad.
He was an ass. He was a perfect father.
Wow. That was a blessing for you to experience that.
Yes.
Now, what encouragement, I want to move on to see how you can encourage other persons, because I'm sure their story is not unique to you. Like I said, it's very relatable.
Yes.
So I want to ask, what encouragement would you give to others who may be struggling with this type of situation, in particular, dealing with it regarding their faith?
Yes.
Because a lot of times, you know, we're like, God, I trust you, I believe you, I serve in you. Why?
Let me tell you, I will never forget it.
Yeah.
During that time, you know, you had a fresh newborn baby. You have a son, older son, who just couldn't understand, and you're trying to make it make sense. But there was during that time, I attended New Life Worship Center at Bishop Simeon Oughton. He was just a senior pastor at the time. And I thank God for my church every day, because I kept focused on God and ministry.
Yes.
I was never so busy. I am also to this day still in the media ministry. So I kept busy with that. We had different activities going on that I was a part of. And it was just feeding me. Yeah. It was feeding me so much so. And I was intentional about my village and people who I put in my circle and in my children's life.
Yes.
I wasn't trying to be out there at all. I I didn't want no man to look at me. That I wasn't interested. I just
you
was
had to
focused
prioritized.
on.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you keep your eyes fixed on God, is what I want to say.
Yes. Yes.
Everything, literally.
Wow.
God places the right people at the right time.
Yes. Yes.
To help pull you through. Like it's an experience, whereas you on your knees and that's all you have is God.
Wow. Powerful.
That's it. That's all you have.
That is powerful.
I then lost my house. I actually had to give up my home, the brand new home that I worked 2 and 3 jobs for.
Wow.
I had to walk away from that with a newborn.
Yeah.
With a young son.
Start again.
Yeah. And at that time, not too long after that was when I think it was Hurricane Matthew. I remember because my son was a baby and I had just started a job. And I was, what they say, first one in.
Yes, yes.
Last one in, first one out.
Yes.
And from then to this day, I've been working for myself. And God has provided.
Wow. You sacrificed a lot.
I have.
Yeah. And I can imagine working, because at the time you were working for somebody.
I sure was.
You know, so
inside job.
Yeah. So you decided to go into your own business, of course, at some point. You know. So how were you able to get into that?
So at that time, like I say, it's very important who you have in your surroundings.
Absolutely.
Who you share your experience, everything that you go through is you have to be critical about that.
Intentional.
Because I'm going to call her name, Chastity Bullet.
Yes.
She spoke so much life into me during that time because she would have experiencing similar things in her journey.
Yes.
And she saw what she didn't see in herself in me. Like to this day, even if I see her right now, she says, "Do you remember?"
Yeah.
And at that time, I hear her, but I was like, "Oh, yeah." I didn't believe myself as
happens,
much. But then when you get to a place when you don't have nothing else but God, and you have to believe, like you have to be there in the spirit to understand what I'm saying right now, because people could tell you and tell you and tell you, and not until you accept and you start
and experience
reading your Bible
yourself.
and you try, you have a relationship with God and you're speaking with Him daily, and you're looking for that answer.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah, and you know, like they say, God is best experienced.
Yeah.
And so I get what you're meaning. You have to experience Him for yourself.
Yes, you have to.
You know, so when you get in those spaces, in those dark spaces,
you know it's only God.
You know it's only Him.
And it makes you hungrier.
Yeah.
I was hungry at the time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, and you know, you mentioned earlier, you know, you would do so much things differently. I want to give you an opportunity to share. If you could talk, go back.
Oh, wow.
If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be? One thing, not Toquel.
Boy, let me narrow this down. Sweet girl, Toquel. I would tell myself, you know, the pain that you enjoy at this very moment is all for the glory of God.
Amen.
All of it.
Amen.
Don't care how long it takes. It is who I am today.
Yeah.
Every tear. I mean, sometimes, and you know what, God He have a funny way of doing things, because it is only be until I hear of other people's stories. Sometimes I'd be like, oh my God, I went through that.
Yes. You remember.
And I can't believe what I thought was going to kill me.
Yes.
That I can smile and be like, oh, I came out of that.
Yes.
And the thing is with me, a lot of people never knew what I went through. They think they know, and and at the time during my divorce, a lot of things was publicized without me. You know, and I stood still. All I did was pray. I never went to social media ranting and raving. I literally dealt with the shame. I dealt with everything. And then years later, now I have a peace. I'm not angry. So that's only God.
It's only God.
It's only God.
Yeah.
And I share that with my kids now.
Yeah. So pretty much what you would tell yourself is to be still?
Yes, be still and understand that pain is all for the glory of God.
All for the glory of God.
And my favorite scripture, Romans 8:28. That is my absolute favorite.
Let's hear it.
For all things work together for the good to those who love the Lord.
Amen.
My absolutely favorite scripture.
Absolutely.
Because everything that I would have faced for God.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm seeing it every day.
Awesome.
And I'm very hopeful. Because God He really did it for me.
Yeah.
He did.
And so let's Boy, listen, I'm inspired by what you're sharing right now. And I hope that our listeners can glean from what you're saying and get inspiration and get hope and know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, especially if you trust God.
Yes.
And you allow Him to direct your path.
Yes, certainly.
You know?
I've had so many times people be like, you need to tell your story and this and that. And I'm like, like you say, it's almost like a typical story you hear, you know? So you feel like, man, I'm sure we've gone through that. Just another number.
Yeah.
But it's very important. If you trust and believe in God, He don't allow you to go through these things, just to go through it.
Exactly.
It's for His glory.
Exactly.
And I'm understanding that a lot now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's no shame in your suffering.
No, it isn't.
No.
When I spoke with someone the other day, they said a lot of things that we go through, it's happening. It's not happening to you. It's happening through you.
For someone.
And it's happening for someone, you know? So a lot of times when we have these experiences, it may feel bad in the moment, it may feel painful in the moment, but we have to realize, especially as believers, it's not for us.
Purpose.
It's purpose in it. It's purpose in the pain.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, you know, and you mentioned while we were talking about your story, you mentioned the situation regarding the church you go to, and you know how supportive
that's so important.
The man and woman of God who are in your life. That is important. Tell me, I want you to just share a little bit about them.
Let me tell you why it's so important, because my faith, it was feeding, it was getting fulfillment, you know, and then here I am with 2 kids that to this day I've raised them through there, and they are very active in church. They're very involved in their faith. Has grown up. I'm watching them, you know. So I'm responsible for that.
Yeah.
So I'm responsible for getting myself together.
Absolutely.
And so they were able to fall in line.
Yes.
And that's so important.
Yes. Yes. And if you don't mind sharing, in the ministry that you have with your children, well, in the church, they perform in certain ministries.
Right.
What is it that they do?
Well, boy, let's start with the oldest. And I'm so proud of him because, like I said, he have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And rather than him now, you letting the evil and you know, because it did get to him.
Yeah.
He did have suicidal thoughts. I went through all of that.
Yeah.
He wrote a book on suicidal, this and that. But now he expresses himself in a different way, where he's always called upon to read in church.
Wow.
He's an active usher. He's like the go-to person in church right now, right?
Yes.
And then I watch, I'd be like, Lord, I thank you. You know, he's a steward right now at church. And then my youngest son, a lot of persons, if people should know him by now, Xander. He is a liturgical dancer. And let me tell you, with that, for me, he was 3 years old. With Xander, because of what I went through with my pregnancy, like it was like a spiritual thing, I believe. Like it was horrible. Xander was like the child. Oh my God. He used to attack the church people too. And God just delivered him from that to the point where he's a minister of dance. He's a awesome liturgical dancer.
Wow.
He has a gift, an anointing, and every time I see that, I be like, Lord, this is a child. But I thought I couldn't even bring forth because of what I went through in my pregnancy.
And maybe that's why it was so rough, because a lot of times when something special is about to be birthed, it's a major challenge. So that's an indication. I tell people, when you go through in a situation, a lot of times, something great is about to be birthed.
And I see that now, and I'm very appreciative of my gifts.
Absolutely. God has been good. Listen to me. God has been good. I am so grateful to him. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we get caught up in the moment, get caught up in what we're going through. But the fact still remains, he is good.
Because I want you to know, many times I would have lost my mind. It was so many things that I could bring forth, but your mind, keep it fixed on God. That's the only way.
It's always a battle for your mind.
Once your mind, when you have control of your mind and set on God, ain't nothing you can't get through.
Absolutely. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to share? Any nuggets you probably want to give to anyone? And of course, please share about your business. Let people know about your business.
Yes.
Let them know how they could get in contact with you. I know you're pretty popular already, but we could be more popular now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So I'm glad you asked, because during all of what I would have experienced, I had to work.
Yeah.
I had to stay focused on, okay, what is it that you want to do with yourself? Especially when I was forced to get into the work field of working, becoming a full entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And with that, it takes development. You have to have the mindset of wanting to better yourself, to grow. So once you keep your eyes fixed on God, He's going to open up those doors. He's going to allow opportunities to line up for you. Don't worry about how it's going to get done and financially or what's not. Once you make up your mind towards something, you set one goal at a time.
Yeah.
Because where I am, I never thought I would have been today.
Oh, wow.
I promise you, I didn't think that. Others believed in me more than I believed in myself.
Yes.
So once you make up your mind that, hey, okay, God, take the floor and what's not, and you wake up every day, even if it's just a soft single prayer, God, I don't know what to do next. That's showing faith.
Yes.
That you believe that He is worthy enough to put you where you need to be, because you're calling on His name.
Yes.
So that's very important. And like I said, once you align yourself with God, He's going to align the right clients, everything that's lined up for your vision. Just believe in yourself and keep pushing.
Yes.
So I am the owner of Creations by Timeless Photography and Graphic Designs. And I hope to see many of you all year long to stop on in for a photo op or graphic design services. And
you're located in Grand Bahama.
Yes, we're in Freeport, Grand Bahama, in the Emeralds Plaza.
Yes.
You'll see Creations by Timeless on the glass there, ready to welcome and serve you.
Yes.
We do everything pertaining to photography, indoor, outdoor, business, graphic design, like I said. Especially if you're a beginner, I always like to encourage those who are starting out, because I know what it's like to start out.
Yeah.
We have packages for everything ready.
Ready to go.
Just to set you off.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, y'all heard it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Creations by Timeless
Photography and graphic design services.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that her services are top tier. I can tell you, I did a photo shoot with you.
You did.
And it's for my podcast.
Yes.
So once you see those pictures, that's the work right there.
Yes.
And I was pleased, and I wasn't just pleased with the work, I was pleased with the person.
Yes.
She is such a sweetheart. Like,
you.
I literally met you when I came in, when I was working someplace else to get some pictures taken, some IDs. Yeah, some IDs. And you were so nice then. But I remembered you. And I'm going to tell you, because I remembered how welcoming you were.
Yes.
I remember how accommodating you were.
Yeah.
And I remember how professional you were.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it was beautiful from even then.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the work was awesome. So guys, please, Toquel.
Thank you.
All right? Creations by Timeless.
Yes.
Now, I just want to say that, Toquel has been an amazing guest. She has showed where resilience, where hope and trust in God and perseverance is the key. That is what makes us, that is what helps us to get past any situation we're going through. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, know that with Christ, you can overcome it. You can be an overcomer, and you can survive to go on and do better things with your life. Yeah. And with that being said, let the redeemed of the Lord tell their stories, for He has delivered you from the hands of the enemies. Are you ready to tell your story? Let's talk about it.
Yes.